Trump has put Zelensky in front of an extremely tough choice: to agree to the American peace plan or to continue the war without clear guarantees. This decision could change everything. The president of Ukraine is facing the toughest diplomatic challenge since the start of the full-scale war. The peace talks, which were supposed to be a step toward a ceasefire, have turned into serious political pressure on Kyiv. And now, more information in our report. My name is Yevhen Surov. This is the Glavreb Show. Subscribe and give us a like. Let's get started. According to the Italian publication Corriere della Sera, the peace plan proposed by Donald Trump and the United States envisions significant territorial concessions in Donbas in exchange for financial aid and Western security guarantees. However, such a choice carries extremely serious risks for Ukraine. During the World Economic Forum in Davos, Volodymyr Zelensky and Donald Trump held a closed-door, hour-long conversation. No documents were signed, and publicly the parties did not display any open disagreements. However, after the meeting, it became clear the Ukrainian president found himself facing a difficult dilemma: either accept the proposed peace scenario or risk being left without clear guarantees for ending the war. The key and most controversial point of the plan is Donbas. According to journalists, the American settlement model envisions transferring the non-occupied part of Donetsk region to Russia, but without legally recognizing Russian sovereignty over these territories. The authors of the plan believe that such a formula leaves a window of opportunity for future revision of the agreements. It is precisely this point that sparked the most debate. In Ukraine, any territorial concessions are perceived as extremely painful, both among politicians and military experts. They warn that the loss of Donbas fortifications could open routes for Russia to reach the Dnipro and later to Odessa, which would mean losing control over the Black Sea and pose a serious threat to the country's economic security. In exchange for concessions, Washington is offering two key elements. The first is a plan for the reconstruction of Ukraine, worth about $800 billion, which is to combine public and private funds under the coordination of BlackRock investment company head Larry Fink. The second is American security guarantees, supported by European countries, including the possible deployment of foreign military contingents on the territory of Ukraine. However, at present, these proposals exist mostly on paper. Finnish Prime Minister Alexander Stubb has already noted that the recovery plan lacks clear financial backing, and Moscow's position regarding security guarantees and the presence of foreign troops remains extremely negative. At the same time, Trump's informal negotiators, Special Representative Stephen Witkoff and Jared Kushner, held talks with Russian negotiator Kirill Dmitriev and traveled to Abu Dhabi. It is there that direct negotiations involving both the Ukrainian and Russian sides are expected to take place. The decision that Zelensky will have to make concerns not only territories or the terms of a ceasefire, but directly affects Ukraine's future on the international stage. Security guarantees, financial aid, and the possible deployment of Western troops are serious arguments, but concessions in Donbas could have consequences for decades to come. Zelensky's refusal of the proposed plan could mean a prolonged war with no clear end in sight. Agreement, on the other hand, carries the risk of losing part of the territory and internal social unity. Both scenarios come at an extremely high cost. Thus, Ukraine faces one of the most difficult strategic choices in its entire history of independence, between peace with painful compromises and continuing the war without a guaranteed outcome.